Greetings and salutations from Scouse Farm. If you've watched one of the previous videos about me tomato plants getting battered in the storm, they've survived, so that's a good thing. You can see they've fell over, but I was happy with that anyway. It didn't bother me much. It was just the back one there that got a tear in it, which I was a bit concerned about, but the whole plan was to let them grow up. So grow up that stake, or the stakes, because there's 3 in there, 4 in there, and then let them fall back down. So you get some upgrowth, and then it continues to act like a vine and goes towards the floor. Very easy to harvest them that way, because nothing is too high to then reach up and grab. So I'll give you a little quick scooch to show how they've started to turn red, which is nice. It's now early September, and this truss has reddened. This one isn't the damaged one, but that's one of the cherry tomatoes, the Gardener's Delight variety. But the back one there, you could probably pick that now actually, but I'll leave it another day or two, and I'll stop watering it now for a little bit, because if you water them too much as well when they're ripening, you'll notice that they'll get splits in the skin, so it'll pop through the skin. Apparently that's due to over watering, so I'm just going to cut back on the watering for a little bit and let at least a few of them ripen, and then I'll carry on, because we're going to have a sunny weekend apparently in Liverpool. So we'll wait and see if that eventuality turns out to be truthful for once, because you can't trust these weather apps. But the other variety, the Alicante, I believe they're massive. Well, not massive, but they're much bigger than the other ones. You can see that is full of larger tomatoes, apart from this one here and a few others, but I'm just waiting to see them turn red, and then I'll be happy, because this is the one that split, and you'll see there forward to the right of that plastic clip, that's the tear when the wind knocked it right over and it just twisted and split. But it hasn't gone all the way through, so that is solidified, and there's still evidence of tomatoes on the rest of the trusses, so they're all good. That's on the split one, and they'll be all right. I don't think there'll be a problem, so we'll just wait and see. There's another bunch under there ready to ripen. So oh, there's another one there, didn't even see that one. Fat ones there as well. That's the tomatoes. And another video from recently, you'll have seen I ripped out the strawberries from this patch, and I planted some spring onion seeds in August to be ready for next April. And I put all of these pond, look like spiders' webs, but when I first cleared the strawberries, one of the wild cats, well, I'll say it's not a wild cat like, but some cats are just left out, so they go out on patrol at night around here, and they were using that as a toilet, so I had to put all them down there to discourage the cats from scuffing up the soil. And if you can see on the camera, there's lots of little thin spikes coming out, and they are spring onions. So what I did is used a stick like one of these sticks here, and just dragged it across the soil on that side, dragged it across the soil on that side, and thinly sprinkled spring onion seeds in a small trench, then just covered it back up with the soil that was already there, and we've got 2 full beds of spring onions. And some of these I'll eat a few of them, I'll give a few away, but the lady in the chip shop at the top of the road, the Chinese chip shop, she loves using spring onions in lots of their dishes, so I give some food to them in exchange for a little meal off them. And it's quite funny, because her Chinese husband, he eats my potatoes when I make all different varieties of potatoes, and he has shepherd's pie, what his missus makes for him, and then I'm eating the Chinese food that they're making for me. So it's mad. You got the people who work in the Chinese chip shop love English food, and I like the Chinese food, so it's a win-win. They need to employ me as a trade minister, don't they? Make a lot of money. And well, not much to see, but that in the front is a cherry bush, which is growing bigger than I expected it to grow, but that's the way it goes. So that's very fruitful next year. For those who've not seen any of my cherry videos. And let's take you over to the bed at the front. The cauliflower was covered in caterpillars at the bottom, and it wasn't the best, so I just got rid of it. So I've not had a cauliflower harvest this year, which is unfortunate, but that's life. And there's more spring onions there that were planted earlier in the year, so I could cut them up now and use them in stir fries, but just going to let them grow a bit more. And where the carrots were harvested and the celery, we've got some new carrots coming through there. You can see I must have put a few out in the front because they're popping up. They might not make it through winter, but we'll see what happens. And these ones, I'll try and harvest them soon and see if we get a better harvest than what we did last time, because the last ones out of this bed were terrible. But while we're here, let me rag a beetroot out, show you how easy it is. Hopefully it doesn't make me out to be a liar. So there's some multi-sown beetroot. Let's see what we get here. Oh yes. Ho, 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 ho. Feast your eyes on them. Or well, that one anyway. That is known as a success. Beautiful colour. I think this variety is called Choggia, Choggia, and that's the type of beetroot. That one is a little bit flat like a pancake, but it's still usable, and that can be eaten raw if you want to use it for the purposes of generating some nitrous oxide before you do some training. And this one, I'm going to cook that one. So this will be take the leaves off and then tidy it up a bit, pan of water, boil it for 40 minutes, and then once you take it out of the pan, the skin there, it just literally peels off with your hands, so it's dead easy to do. You don't have to like peel it with a knife or anything, so you just cook it without peeling beforehand. So you just tidy it up a bit, cook it for 40 minutes in hot water in a boiling saucepan or any sort of pan, and then it's ready to go, and it's gorgeous with a bit of salt. And then watch when you do it, because it can stain your fingers, but I'm sure you all know that. Most people who have experience with beetroot have only experienced it out of an like a pickle jar, but you know it stains. So it's the same when you're cooking raw beetroot as well, so watch out, because it'll stain anything it touches. Right, I'll leave them there. I'll just show you the compost before we end the video. And this one is the ready compost. I've been making a few buckets out of this already, so you'll see the levels dropped, but the quality is incredible. Brown, very light, and it's still decomposing in places, so there's still a lot of worm activity beneath the surface. Have a little scooch in, see if we can see any. Yeah, there you go. Loads of little red wigglers. There's one there wiggling. So still a lot of worm activity, and that's ready now, so you don't need to wait. You can just throw it down when it's not even fully decomposed. Just lay it on top of your flower beds or your growing areas, and then that'll just give extra nutrients over winter and help the soil and the organisms in the soil to get spring off to a good start when you plant out next year. But the active heap, the one I'm using now, I've mixed it in now, and I'm just layering things on top. So I think it's up to about there inside, but it was up to here, and then it's dropped this much. That's how good the first lot was. It just heated up really quick and dropped. And as you can see there, you've got eggshells, just leaves from the cherry tree, because it's now starting to drop its leaves. And unfortunately I have to pick them out the pond every day, because I'll show you in a minute, but the tree is directly above the pond. And everything from the kitchen straight in there: pistachio shells, tea bags. Red wiggler worms love chomping through tea bags, so like the green tea that I use and your normal standard issue tea bag, just get it in there. Mushrooms, anything out of the kitchen, don't worry about citrus fruits, just get them in there and they'll decompose. Gorgeous stuff. And speaking of the fish, they're in there obviously because it's the pond, but I've just put some food on the top. As you can see, fish flakes, but they're hiding under the surface at the minute. I don't know, maybe they're having a meeting or something, but they have been out and about, so they'll be chomping on that soon enough. And other than that, the garden's pretty much going to sleep for winter now, and the cherry tree is starting to drop its leaves, and it's going to be getting a reduction this year. I'm not letting it get any bigger than that because it's taking a biscuit now. I need to start reducing the size of it. It's also affecting the flower bed. I'm not too fussed about it really, but you look at the flower bed there next to the fence. The roots of the tree take a hell of a lot of nutrients out of the soil, so it's difficult to grow good flowers in there. And it's shading as well from the sun, so it doesn't get much sun, as you can tell by those pathetic sunflowers there, these little skinny ones. So there we go. That's an actual sunflower. It's supposed to be tall, but at least they're flowered. Can't moan at that. Right, so success on the tomato front. They'll be getting harvested from now, and once they go fully red, some of them, I'll show you what they look like and if the ones survive from the re-ebb bunch. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel if you're new. It'll help me grow and get towards my target of 1,000 subscribers sooner. Scouts Farm, we'll see you all again soon.